You're watching Stewart Spotlight Podcast live with your host, William Stewart Jr. with topics of everyday life. Tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Today's guests are Alicia Courtley, educator and minister. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode. And now your host, William Stewart Jr. Good evening and welcome to Stewart Spotlight Podcast. My name is William Stewart Jr. and I am your host this evening. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend, getting ready for the weekend, because you know how the weekend go by so fast, and it's Monday, knocking at the door and back to work already. Today is Friday, October the 3rd. October is here already. Wow. The month of October, we we are in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So Stewart Spotlight Podcast support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And you know what that means. The month of October means this.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear viewers. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, that's right. The month of October, if this is your birthday month, we wish you a happy birthday. And if this is your anniversary, happy anniversary as well. Because this month is my birthday month. October the 26th. Yes, I'm a Scorpio, and my birthday is this month, and I'm going to celebrate it. I want everyone to know that. But I need your support. I know you're asking, how could I support you? I need you to do this. I need your support. I need you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and make sure you turn on your notifications. So therefore, every time you hear this, you know that Stewart Spotlight Podcast is live. Yes, that's right. Make sure you turn on your devices so every time you hear that little notification on your computer, cell phones, laptops, tune into Stewart Spotlight. And if you leave us a comment so we can get a feel of how you're enjoying the show and get some feedback behind it. My message for this week. This is a good message. One of my friends always sends me good inspirational messages, and I always pick one of them. And I like this one per se. It says, friendship isn't about who comes first or who you have known the longest. It's all about who came and never left. Interesting, huh? Who never left. That's a friendship. Everyone is aware of the government shutdown. And it's upsetting to many thousands of individuals who are on furlough or temporarily laid off without pay, which really affects this whole nation. I was just doing some research, and some of the agencies, such as the Passport Processing, Food Inspection, National Park Services, Processing Benefits, Permits, Loans Approval, and the list goes on and on and on. And we need the politicians to get it together and to make it work, because this is affecting our lives. So we need those politicians to come together and get this thing together. Today's guest, my guest today is Miss Alicia Courtley. I've known her for many of years. We used to work together at the CCC. And she used to be at the CCCTU, City Colleges of Chicago, and the City Colleges of the Teachers Union. So we worked together, and we had a lot of fun working together. So she's going to come on as an educator and a minister. It's going to be really, really nice to get some feedback. So after this break, we're going to have my guest, Miss Arlisha Courtley. Stay tuned. Hi, my name is William Stewart Jr. I'm the host of Stewart Spotlight Podcast. How would you like to be a guest on my show? If you have gone through something, came out of something, and just want to share it, we would love for you to be a guest to discuss any topic related to your situation. Your insight of experience, wisdom, knowledge would be invaluable to our viewers. Who knows? By sharing could help someone who may gone through what you came out of. Sharing is caring. So give us a call, 888-552-1944, so we can schedule you on the next Stewart Spotlight Podcast. Yes, be my guest and give us a call, 888-554-1944, and be my special guest so we can talk about some other things. With that being said, welcome back to Stewart Spotlight Podcast. My guest, Miss Arlisha Courtley, and without further ado, we're just going to bring on Miss Arlisha Courtley. Welcome to the show, Miss Arlisha Courtley. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How are you? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing just great. Thank you for coming on and to share some of your wisdom and knowledge and experiences. You know, we've been through a lot at the CCCTU, but we're not going to go into that one. But we're going to talk about your life and your history. So first and foremost, congratulations on your first grandchild. How about that? So when was your grandchild born?
She was born just October 1st.
Right, just a few days ago.
Yeah.
So it's a girl, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
yes.
And what is her name?
Well, we don't have her name yet. My son-in-law and my daughter will be giving a name reveal this Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And so I call her Sweetie Poo.
Okay, so I'm sure that you have some names picked out for yourself, such as Grandma, Nana, Granny, or Grandmother. Which one is going to be?
Mine's is going to be Nana Poo. That's
Nana Poo.
Yeah, so she's going to be Sweetie Poo and I'm Nana Poo.
Okay. So were you able to see her yet?
Oh, yeah. I was there when she was born.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. That's great. So
that was amazing.
So how was it been? Have you held her?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I've held her and I've spoke to her and she opened her eyes for me and I'm going to say she smiled at me when I talked to her. Yes.
Oh, she's having that connection real fast, huh?
Oh, yeah, right away. We're gonna have a real connection for the rest of her life.
Oh,
Yes.
I know she's going to be spoiled by her nana.
Yeah. As you know, she, we have a relationship that I've already put Pooh on her name and mine. So.
Oh, okay, all right.
So Sweetie Pooh and Nana Pooh, whatever her name is gonna be, we already got a connection.
So are you geared up to babysit and things of that nature?
Oh yeah, and we're going places that her mother and father will probably. I know it's gonna be us, me and her, and we're challenging the world.
Bonding together, huh? Yes. Okay. Well, first, let me ask. How should I address you? Professor, Minister, or Arlisha? Which one do you want me to call you?
Well, we're good friends, William. We've been knowing each other for so many years.
Right.
So you can call me Arlisha.
Okay.
I'm with my students. They call me Professor,
Right.
and I'm minister. So yes, definitely you can call me
Well,
Alicia because we're
I'm just trying to be respectful, because people like titles, and I just want to be respectful on Stewart Spotlight. So I will call you Miss Alicia. How about that? Okay,
family.
so now you attended the University of Illinois and you went to Chicago State. You received your master's in both. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yes, I went to my undergraduate background is from the University of Illinois at Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
where I originally wanted to become a medical doctor, and
Mm-hmm.
I was following my aunt who is a medical doctor. She's a
Oh wow.
retired medical doctor in internal medicine, and my mother was a nurse, and I had an interest in getting into medicine. And then I went to the University of Illinois to pursue medicine, to get actually to do what she did.
Okay.
And I stumbled into research with at the University Medical School with Dr. Aki Omachi. And got interested in research, and that got me interested in going to Chicago State University at their institution and majoring in getting a master's in biology.
Okay.
And from there, I worked with Dr. Floyd Banks there as my actual advisor. And from there, I started doing some work with the Illinois Lewis Stokes AMS program and got interested in working with students there.
Hmm.
And I was pulled into the community college because I thought college students would be interesting to work with. And then from there, I was pulled over to the community college
Mm-hmm.
where I started doing research over there and was a professor over there. And I was very excited to do the work there as
Wow.
a professor and research. And from there, I was very interested in public health
Mm-hmm.
um, as well. And so I went back to UIC, School of Public Health, and got my background in environmental occupational health sciences with a background in public health. I decided that I was going to go and get a PhD in health sciences. And I was looking for grad schools, and I was interested in a PhD program. And I was called into ministry. I was actually at Trinity United Church of Christ, where I
Mm-hmm.
was there for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And Pastor Otis Moss, who the third, who had called people's women down, actually, who was interested in ministry, and I was one that came down. And they said you needed to get a master's degree to think about ministry at Trinity. And I'm like, I'd already gotten accepted in the PhD
Right.
program, and I didn't want to get another master's degree. I'd already had two master's degree, and they said, well, you need a master's degree in divinity
Oh wow.
in order to consider being in ministry at Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a lot of praying about that, and I put my application into Chicago Theological Seminary, which is
Mm-hmm.
where I was actually called by the Lord to go into CTS. And I went into CTS and got my master's in divinity at CTS.
Wow.
Uh, I was called as a visit to the Episcopal Church to visit to do actually to do a. It was interesting because I was actually called by a friend to say, "Can you do a sermon at my church for Women's Day?" And that's when I met Father Christopher Griffin at St. Martin's, and that's an Episcopal church on the west side in the Austin community. And the church was calling me in there, and I did an actual sermon there
Mm-hmm.
on domestic violence, which is a focus that I am because I'm a womanist theologian, and I did a focus there. And womanist theology has a center on that designs itself designs itself around kind of an interlocking in racism, sexism, and classism. And when I talked to Father Chris, he allowed me to do the sermon on gender-based violence, and that focused on forms of domestic violence, which I thought
Wow.
was very successful at the church, and I love the church and I love the denomination, so I stayed there.
Wow. So
Yeah,
basically, you received your calling from just
Yeah,
by
I
being
did.
inside of a church.
Yeah, being inside the church. As I was getting my degree, and it didn't stop there because I was called into the priesthood there, which is currently where I am doing now uh, at um, at St. Martin's and at the Episcopal the denomination
Mm,
um, there.
okay.
And it didn't stop there. I got my master's in divinity, and I was called into the PhD program at Chicago Theological Seminary, which is where I am now,
Wow.
going
Wow.
through the PhD program and the priesthood.
Now, I didn't know this part. I knew the beginning, but I didn't know this part. Wow, I didn't. Wow, my head goes out to you. So
So
now,
God is working in a mighty
yes,
way. What?
all the time. So
Yes,
let's
yes, my advisor in this program, in the Chicago Theological Seminary program, is Dr. Joanne Terrell, who is a wonderful woman, who is womanist, who has been a guide to me since the Masters of Divinity program, and who is very much a guide to me now as I move through. As and I've had so many challenges, which I still am as I struggle through life in itself,
okay,
and
okay.
through the programs that I go through, and through my life in general.
Wow.
But God is with me as I move through these programs and through the priesthood and through my everyday life as a professor and my life as a union leader. I am
Mm,
still a union leader.
right. We're gonna be talking about that in a few minutes.
City colleges of Chicago.
Right now, we used to work together at the CCCTU, so we had some challenges from the CCCTU back in the days. But what inspired you to teach biology?
Oh, I've always had a love for nature and
Mm,
for science. I you started with the love of plants.
mm-hmm,
I have several plants. I started with the love of just seeing the variety of plants.
mm-hmm.
I'm considered a plant diva, and I have a love for them, just the looking at the variety of different ones,
Mm-hmm.
and just having over 100 plants, just loving them and having a touch for them. So I just always loved them and always wanted to know how they were created.
Okay.
And so just that type of relationship and loving different types of animals. So
Okay.
that kind of brought me into science.
So what teaching methods do you works best for you to engage with your students?
I use cooperative learning techniques. I believe in group learning techniques for
Hmm,
students. I believe
okay.
students learn better when they work together,
Hmm.
and when they work together as groups.
Okay, so it's a group session, basically.
Yeah. So what I do is we discuss matters, we do problem solving. I believe in performative learning, and I believe in problem solving techniques. And then after that, I believe in putting them into groups. So
Okay.
after we went over the topic together, after they've problem solved together with me,
Hmm.
I put them into groups so that
Okay.
they can do what we've learned together as individual groups without me. So I
Okay.
believe that they can stimulate their own minds from that afterwards.
Okay. In your opinion, what's the most challenging concept in biology and this for students to learn?
From because I teach anatomy and physiology,
Hmm.
I think that the endocrine system is a very challenging topic for them because it's a regulatory system that teaches them how to make sure that the body is maintained from a homeostatic
Mm,
balance. And that is, to make sure that something is not either too high in the body or something
hmm,
that's not either too low in the body.
hmm.
For example, temperature, regulate the body and how it regulates temperature, making sure temperature is not too high or too low, or blood pressure, making sure blood pressure is not too high or too low, or
Mm,
calcium, making sure calcium is not too high or too low. And there are mechanisms in the body that regulates that, and that is under the control of the hypothalamus, or under the control of of the thyroid, or under the control of the, for example, when you talk about the pancreas. So that's all under the regulation of the endocrine system. And I think that that's sometimes very challenging for students when we talk about anatomy and physiology, for example, or when we're talking about the metabolism. That's another challenging topic for the students when we start talking about catabolic and anabolic reactions. So I think that those things can become somewhat challenging for students. Or when we're talking about microbiology, the pathology can be challenging for students.
So all those terms sound so doctorish.
Well, a lot of students that are taking those classes at
Those
the
things.
community college are going into health ally fields. So
Okay.
that is doctorish,
Okay.
or nurses, or some of the other health ally professions. So
Okay.
yes.
What advice would you give a student who is interested in pursuing biology as a career?
I would tell them to take those foundational courses very serious. They have to take the general biology courses, and understand the general biology courses, basically understanding the cell, and
Hmm.
because the cell is the foundation of understanding everything when we talk about biology, and that is the primary unit to understanding all the other structures after that. Life is organized. So we're coming from the cell, then we're graduating. If we're talking from a human perspective, we're talking tissues next. And if we're talking from even plant perspective, we're talking their tissues,
Hmm.
which would be xylem and phloem, for example. If we're talking humans, we're talking tissues. Then we're talking, the next set of systems, which would be the organ systems. So they would need to understand what's happening within the cell, because those other systems are made up of a bunch of cells. Or if we're talking about a simple cell unit, as we're addressing a bacteria, because the bacteria is one cell.
Mm.
So yes, so or not understanding that there's only two cell types that we know today, which is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So I would want them to understand what the basic units are. That's what they would
Wow.
need to do. So as long as they would start off understanding the foundations, and that would be understanding the cell types first, and then graduating from those, and establishing the foundations,
Hmm.
cellular and molecular structures would be something that I would say that they would need to understand coming into. Now, from there, they would want to then understand what particular area of focus that they're going into. If they're going into zoology, then they would need to particularly go into that particular area. If they're going into botany, they would need to go into that particular area. If they're
Hmm.
going into microbiology, they would need to explore an area that's particularly in that particular area. But they would need to explore all of them. Now, when I was in undergraduate, I'm like telling you so many years ago, but I'm not giving you we had to go into all of it, but
Okay.
now they have branched them off into different areas. So
Okay.
yeah.
So now, is biology difficult to teach?
You know what? I would say that if you are in any particular field, you would need to go over your field. I think that you can lose your craft if you don't go over those things over and over and over again. As a biologist, I go over my craft all the time. And I always try to explore what's new in the area. I'm
Okay.
always going over to find out what is new. What are they discovered new? There's some foundational things that are always going to be core,
Hmm.
but they have always come up with something new, innovative, different, that they've explored about a new cell type, some type of epigenetics or something of that sort that you want to look into. But you always have to go over your craft. If you don't, you'll lose it.
So now,
You'll
so
lose.
how do you keep your students motivated on the subject? Because it could be very stressful.
Yeah, I try to do an association. Like, for example, when I'm talking about enzymatic activity, and I talk about how an enzyme works. So, enzyme
Mm.
speeds up a reaction. So, I'll use, for example, them. I'll say you're going over to your dad's house, and you're
Hmm.
going to get over to your dad's house anyway, and you're because he owes you $5,000. So you're going to walk,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to walk because he owes you that money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, an Enzyme is going to get you there faster because you'll think of it as the car. And so they go, oh, okay, I'll associate the Enzyme for a car, and I'll get to the reaction faster. So they'll
Okay.
start to do by association. They'll say, okay, I'll think of the enzyme. Every time I think of an enzyme, I'll think of that enzyme as the car that's going to get me to the location. So that's going to drive the reaction. So the enzyme drives the reaction to completion, to product.
Hmm.
And when I don't have the enzyme, the product is going to happen, but it's going to be slower. So then they will remember this by that type of an association.
So you're
So
using
that's,
examples of life to.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow, that's
yeah.
that's that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Okay. Now, Alicia, you wear many hats. Many hats. You are a professor. You are the union
I'm the
steward.
union grievance chair
Well,
now.
first you were
Uh,
the union chapter chair.
for
Then you
16, yeah,
for
for 16 years. So it was interesting because for 14 years I was the chapter chair, and then I worked hard to get that, to have somebody replace me there,
uh-huh
and I dropped out of that for a period of time. Then I became the assistant
the
chapter
chair,
chair
right?
and for a few minutes, and then I became the chapter chair again. And then that's complicated. And then I got somebody to become the chapter chair, and then I stayed on to become the grievance chair, and which is what I am now. So I am
Wow.
still an officer, but I'm
Wow.
currently the grievance chair,
Okay.
and the vice president of faculty council as well, which is where I am now as
And now you're
well.
giving me a headache now. Now, so how do you manage these different roles? Because I remember being a union steward as well. You're learning different contracts: the faculty contract, the professional contract, the part-time professional contracts, the security contracts, and you're representing your members. So now,
Right.
how do you juggle? Because now you are the president of the faculty council,
Vice president,
vice president
yes.
of the faculty council. So now you have many hats. Where do you
Yeah,
have
I
free time?
used to be the president of the faculty council, so it's a little easy for me because years ago when I started, that's where I started before I became the union chair.
Right.
So when Edith, who is the president of Dr. Wells, who's the
Hmm.
president of faculty council, I teamed up with her. It was easy for me to work with her, and it's very easy for me to work with her now because she kind of runs a really good ship. And we have a pretty good group that works with us. So we work together really smoothly.
Hmm.
And so, and it kind of bounces off with what I do as a grievance chair a lot of the times because I can hear the issues that is happening with faculty. And if I need to grab onto some things as it pertains to myself as a grievance chair, I can pick up on those things. So
Hmm.
it kind of balances off for me as a vice president of faculty council.
Okay. Now, as I stated before, I was the union steward as well because we used to
You sure?
we used to hang out at the union meetings. But for the
Oh
viewers who
yeah.
for the viewers who don't understand a chapter chair, can you give us some responsibilities of a chapter chair?
Oh, well, we oversee all the offices. I
Hmm.
mean, so if we don't have a grievance chair at the time, we are the grievance chair at the time. But we do go to all of the local meetings.
Right.
So every local meeting that is held monthly, we are there, and we do hold office there.
Hmm.
We oversee the office at the college as well. So we
Hmm.
oversee office. We interact with administration
Hmm.
at
Right.
the college that we are at as well.
Hmm.
We take care of our members
Hmm.
as we do there. If there is a strike, we do get that information from the local to our members as
Hmm.
well.
Right.
We
Right.
also communicate with our members during the time of any serious matters that might happen directly on the campus as well
Hmm.
too.
Okay.
Uh, there is a slew of responsibilities that we have that's according to our contract as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Yeah,
I totally
so
agree with you on that one now.
yeah.
So now,
That's the primary things that we do, but there is a whole list of responsibilities that we do have as chapter chairs, that we take very seriously
mhm,
when working with our membership,
right,
that can cause adversary relationships with us and
right,
our administration. We try to work hand in hand with our administration, that with the goals of working with
mhm,
our administration that may or may not always work out. But
okay,
our goals are to try to resolve issues with the administration. If we can, we try to put fires out before they escalate. That's
right,
our goal.
right.
That's always our goal, but
I
sometimes it may not work out.
I remember those days. So now, could you share a success story that helped and won a grievance for one of your members without naming names?
Success story and reference to
Winning one of your grievance that you had against the administration.
well, in terms of our goals are to try to assist members in making sure that they keep employment.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what the bottom line is.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, that's primary for us is to make sure that we keep our members' jobs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there.
That is really what that is. So if any way that we can work, struggle, hustle to make sure that we can negotiate to
That's
make
true.
sure that members keep employment,
Right.
we're going to do it.
Yes, you're
And
absolutely
I've
right.
done that, and you have too,
Yes,
William,
I
on
know.
many occasions. Uh, Sometimes we're successful,
Mm-hmm.
um, and sometimes we're not. And I have done that on more occasions than I can even calculate. I think over the years, and I've been at city colleges for 25, 20, almost 26 years,
Mm.
to try to and as the union chapter chair for 14 of those, almost 16 of those years, to try to keep people's jobs,
Mm.
and make sure they stay employed.
Right. Right.
That's really what our goals are. And I think, William, I gotta applaud you. We worked hard to keep folk their jobs too.
Woo.
We've hustled our buns off to keep people's jobs.
Woo. You just don't understand. And we had
Yeah,
some good
that's
times.
the
We used to
big
have some good.
borrow steal kind of thing when it came down to, look, can you please help them? Whatever I did to, can you please offer leniency? Please keep these folk
Right.
jobs,
Right.
So yes.
So
Mhm.
now, Alicia, can you stay with us because we're going to come back and talk about the ministry after this
Oh,
break.
okay.
All right.
Okay,
Stay with
yes, I
us right
can.
quick. We'll be right back.
Okay.
And we're back with Miss Alicia Courtley. And I kept on looking at, there was something white on my, I was like, what is this white on my mouth? But it was something I ate and I couldn't get it off, but now it's off. So,
Okay.
okay, so as I stated before, let's talk about the ministry because you are a minister as well as an educator, as well as a union rep, grievance. vice president of the you wear many hats. So,
Vice
what
president of the faculty council at
faculty
Kennedy.
council, right? Many things. So,
Yeah.
how did you get involved in the ministry? What? Because I know that you were called. I heard that earlier, but how, how do you balance all this?
Well, you when I was actually, I never really understood this the whole process of ministry until I was at Trinity United Church of
Mm-hmm.
Christ. I was always, talking to people about domestic violence, and people had come to me early on about domestic violence, and people, had confided in me. Women had confided in me, and even some men had confided in me about being harmed and being even attacked, and just coming and talking to me, and I didn't understand why. Actually, it started very early on in my youth, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And even as I went through years, just lay as a lay person, and just talking to people. And as a young person, I kind of mentioned to you, I I decided I was going to read the Bible to learn how to read better as a young woman, actually as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started reading the Bible, the King James Version, the Holy Bible. Like, that was
Mm-hmm.
the only one as a young person that existed. Um, and I just felt that the Holy Spirit was working with me as a very young person, as a very young girl, and just people were just interacting with me and just telling me their stories,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just coming to them and talking to them, and they just would confide in me, and just they would just come to me for comfort, and I didn't understand I was offering them comfort as a young teenager, and
Wow.
then in my 20s. I just continued to have people coming to me, and when I started to go to church, um, more, I would get people doing that. And
Mm-hmm.
even then, I wasn't clear about what was happening. And then even afterwards, I would just became a deacon,
Mm-hmm.
and I became a deacon with metropolitan community churches. Um, and my that was when my children were much younger.
Mm-hmm.
And as a deacon, I would offer services and talk to people. And as a minister, then talking to people and offering services, people would come to me and talk to me about, forms of domestic violence. And I would offer assistance and talk to them then about things of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I left that church and went to Trinity, I would be there and people would also talk then. And then when I became a deacon with Pillar of Love, I still would be offering assistance there. And as a minister there, as a deacon there, I would also be offering forms of advice there too. So this kind of carried on with me. And then when Pastor Otis Moss the third called us down, and I was told that, you needed to go to, the seminary. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, okay. And I went to Chicago Theological Seminary. I knew then. I'm like, okay, this is for sure, for sure. I mean, I'd been a deacon in two places.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is for sure, for sure. I know.
Wow. Wow.
I know.
That's
God has definitely called me to do this.
so. So
This work.
how did you stay spiritually strong when others pressing the button?
That's the Holy Spirit
Mm-hmm.
for me. She is one that is called direct, give me direction every time.
Mm-hmm.
Always on my heart, directing me to scripture readings. If I'm not being directed right to the biblical book,
Mm-hmm.
a particular scripture will come to my head,
Mm-hmm.
and it's right there.
Mm.
You know, and I'm
Okay.
like, the 23rd Psalms is something that my mother taught me when I was a child. Edna
Mm-hmm.
Mary put that right at my heart, and it has followed me all through. And the Holy Spirit, She's always coming to me every time with that 23rd Psalms, and it means something different to me every time.
Okay.
Every time I move through it, I'm like, something is going on that I need to hear or I need to be directed through. There is a particular verse from the 23rd Psalm that comes up, and I know that that's where I need to go and what direction I need to take.
Well, the only reason I was asking about people pressing the buttons because being a union rep, you have many different stories, many different attitudes, and sometimes you got to be
Oh yeah.
spiritually focused
Oh,
and be steadfast about
yeah.
okay, slow down. Let me put this into perspective, and let's talk about this. So I remember several times that I wanted to go off, but you had to step back and think
Oh
about
yeah.
it. So that was one of the reasons why I was asking that question. So how do you connect with people who walks a different way in life?
Well, I connect with them because I know that the humanity is, Jesus was a human
Mm-hmm.
and very God and very human.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus, the beautiful thing about Jesus is Jesus was in the light, in the world of the marginalized, and the outcast. And there is where I love Jesus because Jesus didn't discriminate.
Right. Right.
This is what I loved about Jesus. I mean, everybody, there's other folks that discriminate against everybody.
Right. Right.
And this is the reason why I have a relationship with Jesus. I mean, I remember being a child and thinking to myself, who is this white man
Mm-hmm.
that, because I seen him on TV. I'm like, he is so weak. He
Mm-hmm.
got this blonde hair and this dark hair, and sometimes he got these blue eyes, and he just say, "Come hither." They take him and they hang him on this cross, and he don't fight back, and who is he is weak, and they say he God. And as a young person at 16 years old, I'm reading this Bible, and I'm like, wait a minute, this look like this is in Africa.
Mm.
And this man don't look like, wait a minute, his people put him in Egypt. How is he white?
Mm.
Wait a minute. This man is telling folk off.
Mm.
One he does, and well, wait a minute, Pontius Pilate, he's an Italian. And he is supposed to be the lowest of the low. I don't think he's this white man. And I don't think he's this person this is a rebel.
Mm.
This TV depiction of him is not correct.
Mm.
This person is on fire. I think I love him.
Mm.
I fell in love with him.
Mm.
And so my interpretation, look, he's standing up for the lowest of the low. He's standing for the people on the borderlines. He's standing for the outcasts, the leopards,
Mm.
the prostitutes. And I'm going to say the modern day dope fiends, the LGBTQ community.
Mm.
He's standing for those that are supposed to be homeless.
Mm.
He's standing for the drug addicts. He's standing for all of those folks.
Mm.
So I'm looking at this Jesus right here. I don't know what the world today is talking about. I
Mm.
don't know. I don't think that they're looking at the Jesus that is sitting up there in that Bible. That Jesus sitting up in that Bible is not sitting up there talking about, oh, I hate everything and everybody. That's not the Jesus that I'm looking at. Nobody can tell me differently. I
Well,
don't need an apologist to have a conversation with me. They can dismiss it, they can keep it. I don't want to have a conversation with them.
wow.
All I know is that the Jesus that I'm dealing with is that Jesus that is dealing with the folks with their backs up against the wall. That folks ain't thinking about, that people don't even like because they don't have no money, they don't have anything, they have nobody to represent them, nobody's loving on them.
Mm-hmm.
That folks is that have disabilities, the government don't want to support, don't nobody want to love on, the immigrant, the refugee, that's the Jesus that I love right there
Wow.
for that one.
So now, what is your vision? What is your vision for the future in your ministry?
My vision is I want to, I'm a part of St. Martin's, and St. Martin's is an outreach type of church that touches the community. That's is in the arts. That's a church that believes that the arts is a social justice move. That's a move that is a loving community-based move. I mean, our church has a scholarship that it gives to the community and that it gives to the church that's inside, that does community activities, that gives book bags to the schools that are in the Austin community, that's a marginalized community. That a church that also has a program. I did a program that's Summer in the City. That's a program that's collaborated with St. James Episcopal Church. And I was overseeing that program this summer, and we'll do it next summer as well. That takes children between the age of 8 and 13 years old. That's basically in the Austin community. I want to work with that type of community. I like that community.
So
I'm at City King College, so I like that community.
so
You know what I'm saying?
your ministry is more outreach,
Yeah,
outreaching to the
outreach.
community.
Yeah, outreach in the community.
Wow. Okay. Who influenced you in your spiritual journey toward the ministry?
Well, I've had a combination of influences. So in terms of the walk in a Christian walk, I would have to give my grandmother the credit to say that that's where I first had my Christian experience. My grandmother made me long. That would be that person. But in terms of that fire in me, I would have to say Edna Mary. That's my mother. I'd have to give that credit to that woman and my fiery aunts, her sisters. And so those women who were active in the civil rights movement, the Black Arts movement, and the Black Panthers movement. And so I would have to say that those women are the ones that played that significant role, that role in my life to make me have the energy and the spirit that I have today.
Okay. So now, how do you deal with criticism within the church or ministries?
I believe people should have the right to, to their expressions and their feelings. When they direct those expressions and feelings towards me, that you have, you're entitled to what you feel. When you're attacking me, that's a difference.
Right. Right.
Your
Right.
your 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 feelings are yours. Your attack is a different story. You
Okay.
can take that somewhere else. You're entitled to your difference of opinion. That's one thing. But when you are coming after me as a woman, you're attacking me on topics of my race, when you're attacking me on topics of my class, those things, that is what I don't stand for. That means that you have left the rim of your level of criticism, and now you're attacking me at my character, and that is a whole different ball game. You get to something other than criticism, and I think that people too often today say, "Well, this is I'm just being critical." Well, I'm not open gates for your attacks. So those are two different things. Criticism. If I'm open gates, if I ask you for your criticism, and we are having a dialogue, that's one thing. If I'm not asking you for your attacks.
Okay. So how do you reach people who are disconnected from the church?
If a person, because people have different religions,
Of course. Of
some
course.
people are
Of course.
not interested in Christianity,
Right.
and Jesus didn't say everybody was going to be a Christian, right? Some people ain't going to be Christians,
All day long.
they're not interested,
Right.
but those for the whosoever,
Hmm.
uh, that might be interested.
Ah,
I have a conversation for you. The
okay,
door is open, let's talk,
okay,
about this wonderful, wonderful God, Let's have a conversation in Christ Jesus.
okay.
That whosoever bunch that, is open for a conversation is who I'm interested in. But
Wow,
other people who are part of other religious beliefs that are not interested in, coming into this fold, I'm surely not interested in pushing Jesus Christ on a group of folks that are not interested in being a part of Christianity.
that makes a lot of sense. So now, I know your ministry is in the outreach. How do you motivate young adults to get involved in church?
Oh, we have all kinds of conversations. I mean, the first thing that we talk about is their interests. I want to know how they feel because
Mm,
I believe that young people have a story to tell.
mhm,
I believe they have their own individual contributions.
mhm,
I think they have their own form of empowerment, and I want to hear about it.
mhm.
Then when they tell me what they're looking for and what they're interested in, I find a way in which I can be of service. And that is when the door is open for me to do what the Holy Spirit asks me to do.
Mhm.
And then I release that Holy Spirit message on them and move out of the way.
Yes. Hallelujah. So now, Alicia, where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years from now?
Well, my goals is, God pushing me on, into, the ministry, if God sees fit for me to be into the priesthood, that's where I would like to be at. And if God see fit for me to be, to have my degree, that's where I want to be in. And if God sees fit in me to working with the community, the outreach work that I want to do, that's why I want to be it with mothers, who I believe that mothers in marginalized communities will open the gates
Mm,
to
mm,
bring in the fold of families that includes children, that
mhm,
includes the elderly, that includes fathers, brothers, and everyone else, and into this fold. I believe because these communities are made up of a lot of single mothers, I believe that they are the key to opening up the doors for everyone else to walk into uh, a form of empowerment and transformation.
mm. Wow. So, well, and before we close out, what are some of your hobbies? I mean, what do you do to relax yourself? With so many things that's going on, how do you relax? What do you enjoy doing?
Well, one thing I enjoy is music. I
Mhm,
love music.
mhm,
I'm a person that enjoys all forms of music. I
mhm.
love, of course, I'm a house head. I love house music.
I was about to
Come
play
from that
something.
I come from that music air. So I love house music and I also love jazz. I'm a jazz person and I'm a blues person. Edna Mary raised me on blues.
Okay.
So I love blues and I also love classical music. So I love classical music. I also love to dance. I love
Hmm.
dance and I love art. I
Hmm.
love all forms of art. So and
Okay.
I'm a poet. So I love poetry.
Okay.
And I rate it myself. So one of the things I do in my sermons is I do write poetry based on the sermons that I'm going to do and some of the scriptural readings. So I do write poetry.
Wow.
So I'm a poet, and I love sculptures and different forms of art expression. I love different forms. So it doesn't matter about the art expression. So because I believe that anybody can be an artist. As my advisor does a podcast that talks about the particular forms of art expressions based on a particular gaze.
Hmm.
So I do believe that. anybody can be an artist. So
Wow.
I do
Wow.
believe that. Mhm.
Okay, so you want to give us some final words to the viewers from your perspective?
Well, some final words.
Yes.
I think that we should all know that no matter who we are, that we are loved in a mighty way. And that is not just an idle way of thinking, that is a powerful way of thinking because we're loved by someone. And that is not just by our mother, not just by our fathers, but that's by friends, that is by our children, that is by our even some loved one or even someone that you might have even met walking down the street based on just their smile. We are loved. We are loved by the universe. We are loved by nature. We are loved by general personhood. We are loved. We are loved just by waking up in the morning and looking at the sun. We are loved by looking at the moon at night. Just remember every day and don't forget that you are loved. Thank you.
With that being said, I want to thank you for coming on Stewart Spotlight Podcast.
Thank you,
and,
William.
and I want to
Thank
make
you
sure
so
you
much.
send me a picture. Send me a picture of your grandchild so we can post it
Okay.
next time, okay? And once
Okay.
again,
Thank
thank you for coming on and congratulations. And
you.
to Nana, Nana, that's what you
Nana.
call Nana Pooh. I want to keep that in mind. Alicia, thank you for coming on, and I'm looking forward to hearing you in the near future, okay?
Okay, then thanks so much, William, for having me. You have a blessed rest of the evening.
And you do the same. Thank you. Have a nice one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Wow, that was Alicia Courtley. Oh my gosh, that was so. I remember back in the days we used to work together. We used to have a lot of fun in the union days, and that was really interesting. But anyway, next week. Oh, I forgot to play her house music. I was gonna play some house music for her. I'm gonna play this right quick and see if you can catch it. That's for Alicia. So if you hear it, Alicia, that's just for you right there, all right? Okay, so now, next week guest I have is Pastor Tommy L. Posley Sr. Please tune in next week. From the streets to a pastor. He's going to become he's going to become a pastor at his own church and getting installed next Sunday. So therefore, he will be on the show next Friday before he get installed. Make sure you tune in because he has a very, very interesting story how he became a pastor. Okay, let me leave you with my quote for the day. I'm gonna always use this. I love this quote here. I'm gonna use this at the end of my show every day. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. I like that one. I'm going to use that all the time. Trust me on that one. Okay, until next week, in the meantime, be careful, be safe, be kind to others. Have a nice weekend. Good night.